Yeah, like my journey to evolve started about 2 years ago when I got an opportunity for a title fight in a promotion called Rough, which was in China. And when this title fight opportunity came up, I knew my opponent was going to be tough, and I needed to get the best training possible. And this what prompted me to move to Singapore, and more specifically just to move to Evolve. And with my training at Evolve, since I've arrived, I've been unbeaten, and I feel like I've improved a tremendous amount since I've arrived. I mean, we have guys from all kind of discipline, who are the best in their discipline in the world, Like we have top class BJJ guys, Muay Thai guys, wrestling coaches, boxing guys. So it's been a great experience, and I continue learning all the time, and it's a real privilege to be surrounded by such a great team. Well, it's a fairly interesting story. Like, I started kickboxing as a teenager, and when I finished high school, I decided I didn't want to do, the safe or the regular thing that everybody else does, like, go to university, get a good education, and then, get a good job, save up money, buy a house, and, the kind of normal. So I decided when I finished high school, I wanted to go to Thailand to continue my training. So when I finished high school, I was 17 years old, and I left my family, my friends, and I moved over to Thailand, and I went to live in the Muay Thai camp with the other professional Thai fighters. And I spent over a year in Thailand just training and competing and learning. And then I went back home, and my original plan was then to go home and study something that that I wanted to study, like something to do with sports, maybe biomechanics or physiotherapy or something like that. But once I got home, I realized that actually I don't want to stay here for 4 years. I want to go abroad again and continue learning and fighting, and the opportunity came up for me to go to Hong Kong. So I was at home for a while. While I was at home, I studied some personal training courses, and then I left to Hong Kong. In Hong Kong, I was working at an MMA gym, teaching kickboxing, and then training there as well, and competing in and around Asia. And I was fighting in Japan, in Thailand, Malaysia, just kind of around Southeast Asia. And then I got into MMA and started taking it more seriously, and then that prompted my move to Evolve. So I started when I was about 14 years old, training in South Africa. And by the time I got to Thailand, I had already won professional fight in South Africa. The thing in South Africa is actually you're not allowed to fight professionally until you're 18 years old. Mm-hmm. And I actually fought professional when I was 17, which actually I wasn't supposed to be fighting. And when I got to Thailand, I continued fighting and training in Thailand. And just before I left Thailand, they have a huge tournament at the end of the year in December on the King's birthday. And it's called the King's Cup. And I fought for a world title under the WPMF Federation, which is the World Professional Muay Thai Federation, against the guy from Turkey. And that was my first world title that I won. I won that title by decision. So, at that time, I was just 18 years old. And then I went back to South Africa, continued fighting in South Africa, and I won the national kickboxing title in South Africa. When I left to Hong Kong, I was fighting in Hong Kong. There's a promotion called I1. I fought for them twice, winning the Asian title, Muay Thai title. I won Asia title 2 times. And then I won a WMC World Kickboxing title at a promotion called Planet Battle in Hong Kong as well. And then I switched to MMA, and I was fighting for promotion in China called RUF, which was the only government-sanctioned MMA organization in China. And I won the RUF bantamweight title, and that's my only MMA title, and I'm chasing that EFC belt now. Yeah, a lot of people think simply because they're fasting, it means they can't exercise, but it's no excuse. And whether you're professional or not, you can still train during Ramadan. I mean, I don't train at the same intensity or the same frequency, but I still train. So usually I train at about 5 in the afternoon. So, my day is normal. I teach during the day. I mean, I wake up in the morning as usual. And except when we usually train in the morning, it's 9 till 11. And then again in the afternoon, 2 till 4. But now I'm just training once a day from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. So after I finish training, I take a shower, and then, it's just about Maghrib time. I can break my fast, and then, I can, it's not a problem, Maybe you won't be as motivated to train because maybe you feel tired a little bit, But, you can push yourself. Since I joined Evolve, I've improved a lot in my grappling. That a lot of the guys on the Evolve Fight team are professional, professional, I mean, former BJJ world champions, and all of them are high-level black belts. And, training with them every day, you have no choice but to improve. And my last 2 victories actually at EFC have been by submission, so I think my grappling is getting there. I have a very long way to go, but I'm improving steadily. Well, one challenge that almost every fighter has is their weight maintenance. So, we always have to make our specific weight. And, I don't have a huge weight cut, but I still, I have a very strict diet, and the last week of my camp just before the weigh-in it's pretty tough, So for me, that's probably the number one obstacle. And then obviously the mental part, there's always a difference between being confident and being arrogant. But you have to always believe in yourself. You can't go into a fight, thinking, can I win this fight? You need to go into the fight saying to yourself, I can win this fight. And, you always have that bit of doubt in your mind, And people always ask me, are you scared of fighting? Are you scared of getting hurt, And my answer is always the same. I'm not scared of getting hurt. I'm afraid of losing. And, that's one obstacle that you always have to overcome. But each time you step inside the cage, it gets easier. You learn how to deal with things better, and manage that side of fighting. The emotional side and the mental side is just as important as the physical side. There's a lot of skillful fighters in South Africa. But South Africa is still MMA is still a very new sport in South Africa. So many of the fighters are still coming from one background. So a lot of the fighters will be very good kickboxers, national level fighters, but then not have such a solid ground game. Or some guys would come from a BJJ background and, have very good grappling skills, but their striking or their wrestling is not yet at that level. And I think for myself, having trained abroad and competed on an international stage, that I have a bit of advantage over the guys that have just been fighting in South Africa. Like, training with some UFC guys at Evolve, some 1FC guys, you get exposed to a lot more stuff than if I was back home training in South Africa. Yeah, well, we have a stable of fighters at Evolve. We have the fight team, and we also have some guys based abroad that come to Evolve to do their training camps. But we have about 8 to 10 guys based in Singapore permanently who teach at the gym and are part of the fight team. Most of the guys fight in 1FC. Some of them have now signed with UFC. Recently, one of my training partners, Leandro Issa, just fought in Las Vegas on the UFC card, and he won. So Shinya Aoki is down here now at the moment, training for his title fight in Dubai. So, training with these guys, even just being on the same mat, with Shinya is not something that your average fighter gets to experience. And learning from them, is really something special. But at the same time, we all have our different skill sets. So while I'm learning from them in terms of grappling, when we're striking, they picking up some stuff from me. So, it's a symbiotic relationship. We all helping each other to get better. Well, Evolve is a special place where, you can be a professional fighter, but at the same time you can have a stable income. So they give you a job, and they pay you to teach a certain amount of classes per day. But the classes are spaced out in such a way that, it doesn't cut into our training times. So we have our training times set out from 9 till 11 in the morning, and then again 2 till 4 in the afternoon. So we're never teaching at those times. So we might teach classes in the afternoon or in the evenings, but we always have our training times set out. So in a way, Evolve is kind of our main sponsor, where we can kind of live the life of a fighter, but still have a monthly income. And then I have a couple of sponsors in South Africa, I have MMA-shop.co.za, which is an online store, selling MMA apparel, and they back me. And then, my shorts, my clothing company that sponsors me is Grips, which are based in Hong Kong, and they have some of the best, quality shorts that I've ever used. I actually bought my first pair of Grip shorts, and I believed in the product, and after that I approached them for sponsorship. And whether or not they would have sponsored me, I would have still used their product because I like it. So these are my 3 main sponsors for now. I'd like to thank my wife, of course, for supporting me all the time, my family and my friends, and my parents, because not a lot of parents would be happy allowing their child to pursue a career in MMA, but my parents supported me from the start. And I have to thank everybody at Evolve, the whole team, not just my training partners, but, the management staff, the media team, everybody at Evolve. And then I have to thank all the EFC fans in South Africa, because if it wasn't for them, watching us, we'd have nothing to fight for. So thank you to everybody for all the support, and wish you all guys, wish you well.